Pokemon and Hearthstone and some RuneScape and some Valorant. He plays Apex and some Magic while he talks into the camera. Stick around for sports and more as we get to the final score. Sit back and relax, it's time to run and jump and smash and slam. Hughes House, he's a super awesome guy. Hughes House, he thanks you for stopping by. Hughes House! Yay!
Yes! All right, what is going on, YouTube? I am here today with Mr. Shannon Hamilton. He got 10th place. 10th place here at the Magna Carta Webcam Regional. Tell the folks what you were playing.
I was playing what I have dubbed the Raff of OTK.
The Wrath of OTK.
No, Raff.
Raff? All right, tell me. What, R-A-P-H?
No, R-A-F-F.
R-A-F-F.
Like Rafflesiamon. The Raff of
I thought you were about to hit me with some like Rastafarian stuff.
No, I thought it would be a cool play on words. Because BT5 Rafflesiamon came out. So.
Sure.
And
the card's good.
Yeah.
The card's good. Yeah.
Yeah, it got me out of a lot of jams yesterday.
Okay.
To be able to just like literally lock down my opponent.
Okay.
But obviously it's not the mainstay of the deck.
I gotcha. Well, before we get into the deck, what was your final record in the tournament?
I went X1.
X1?
Yeah.
So 7-1, right?
Yeah, 7.
7-1,
yeah,
8 rounds?
7-1.
Okay. Gotcha. And did you feel like you had any tough matchups yesterday?
I feel like the only thing that was really tough for me was Lilith Loop.
Lilith Loop, okay.
And
was that your loss? Or
no, that was not my loss. My
Okay.
loss came in the first round because I was half asleep. I was completely half asleep. I played against like a green hurt control deck.
Okay.
And I forgot that with Mega Kabuterimon under the Herc, and I had some suspended guys out there on the field, I only had one security left. I was like, man, he's just going to swing, and I'm going to trash it and lose the game anyways, no matter what. Not even thinking that he couldn't do both at one time. So I threw out a blocker, gave him way too much memory, and he was able to take him out on the field.
Gotcha.
With a second Mimi.
Hey,
so
it's okay. It happens. You brushed it off and went undefeated the rest of the tournament, so nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
So you said Lilith Loop was tough for you. What makes the Lilith Loop match so tough?
The reason Lilith Loop is so tough for me is that it has the removal factor.
Sure.
With if somebody's playing like a Chaos Gallantmon, Chimeramons, they're playing Zort.
Yep.
So all they have to do is be able to build up and just have all that memory.
Yep.
Do the Mega Digimon fusion for nothing, gain memory, go to Zwart. Zwart brings stuff out on the field. They swing with Zort, bring the Lilith back, destroy something on my field.
Right.
So, yeah, so they have a lot of control that way. So I have to play very passive.
Sure.
With that matchup.
You just not promote against it until you have your
Yeah, so not promoting was probably the biggest thing for me. Because, I wanted to be able to build my stack, get to that Grand Kuwagamon to be able to swing through all their security at once.
Okay.
I wanted them to get a Lilith or something big out there so that if I had my Chaosmon in hand, I was like, boom, I'm going right through it.
Right. Well, I mean, you're hitting for 3 checks and you're swinging over a blocker or something else for another 2.
Yeah. So even if they had a blocker out, I wasn't that worried because I could play around it.
Yeah. Yep.
That paired with some of the other stuff in the deck, was able to control their field a little bit better.
Sure.
But that was probably the biggest, hardest matchup. I think the only reason I beat the Lilith in game 3 was because he had control of the board. I had one security left, but he didn't have enough to swing through.
Right.
He brought up a Zwart with the Mega Fusion, had all kinds of stuff, built up this huge 9-guy board.
Oh my goodness.
He removed a Grand Quagga Rafflesia off the field, a tapped Palmon with the delete ability. I had a tapped Argomon and a unsuspended jamming Palmon. He removed 4 of the 5 on the field. He left the Argomon on the field suspended, and whenever he swung with his Zwart the first time, he literally checked a needle spray, so I resuspended the Zwart so he couldn't swing with it again. And then he proceeds to do this big Lilith loop thing to build out his board.
But he leaves the Argo.
And he literally plays a blocker to give me 6.
What?
He literally plays a Valmon.
And you still have your level 5.
I still have. Well, no, I had it was a rookie.
Oh.
It was the rookie Argo.
Oh, gotcha.
And I literally had needle spray, so I just drew, and I was like, restand.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I was like, that Digivolve just in case, and I was
Yep.
like, needle spray, swing. He was like, where'd the Argomon come from? I was like,
It's been here the
sitting
whole
right
time.
here.
Yep.
And I wasn't even worried about it because I looked over and there was a judge sitting right
Yep.
there in the chat.
Because it was the last round, right? Or the second to
No,
last round?
it was second from last round.
Gotcha. Yeah.
That guy really ticked me off, though. The problem I had with that guy was that every matchup I go into, I'm really friendly with everybody. And I'm just like, everybody always asks me, how you want to cut? I'm like, well, I always just want to do a half cut just to get through it.
Right.
And just go.
If they seem sketchy, maybe take the top 5 off. But
yeah.
yeah.
Even if it's just like half and 5.
Right.
I'm cool with that.
Absolutely.
This guy was like, and I told him, I'm like, I'm cool with half if that's all you're going to make me do. He was like, okay, cool. So he just did half and laid out his board, and then I went to go do it, and he was like, oh, can you actually fan shuffle it 7 times for me? And then I want you to put it into 4 different stacks and take the top card off each one of them, put them at the bottom, and then half cut.
I would not have done that.
And I'm
sorry.
like,
I'd be
well,
like,
pick up your board and you do that too.
Yeah.
So I made him pick up an entire board, made him do it himself.
God.
Because
What's the point? What's the point of that?
I was like, dude, in my head, I was thinking, like, man, if I'm that scummy to cheat,
Right.
I'm going to do it anyways,
Right.
regardless.
Right.
Like, you making me do all this is not
Right.
really going to change that much.
Sure.
So it just annoyed me more so than anything.
So did
And
he
I
make you do that in game 2?
yeah, he made me do it in game 2 as well. And I was just
I honestly, I think I would have refused. I would have told the judge that he's trying to make me do some elaborate cut that is just going to take up too much time, and I'm worried
yeah.
that we're
Well,
not gonna...
I bodied him in 3 turns.
Yes.
he bricked super hard, and I got the OTK.
You know what's funny? I bet if he didn't go back and recut and then lay out his
He
board.
bricked his own hand.
That's what I'm saying. I bet that because of the way he had to cut, because you made him go back and recut
Yeah.
it all, he bricked it. That's why.
Yeah.
So honestly, you know what we call that? We call that karma.
Yeah, and I felt most of the time I'm just like chatty and happy, and I was just sitting there just
Sure.
okay,
Sure.
your turn.
Yep.
I was so cold stone
Sure.
with it, and going into game 2, that was really like the definitive
I bet
game.
it gets to a point because obviously this is not just like a technical game, but there's a mental aspect to it too, and so he you could almost say that he may be trying to make his opponents cut that way just to kind of get like that mental advantage to start the game.
Yeah.
But because his mental advantage backfired and made him brick, now he's the one that's at a mental disadvantage.
I think there's a lot of Digimon players in the community that are kind of more passive
Sure.
players.
Sure.
And they're not the people that be like, oh, well, go back and you do that whole
Yeah.
thing as well after you've already got your entire
I'll call a
field
judge.
laid out.
Like-
Yeah, I was like, no, if you're going to make me do it,
Right.
pick up your entire board.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
then you do it.
You bet that when that judge comes in this call, I'm going to tell him that he already agreed to just do half.
Yep.
And then decided after he already laid all his stuff out, he was going to make me do something else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and 100%. That's kind of how it went.
Yeah.
Because before every game, I do a pile shuffle.
Sure.
And then I put them together, and then
I just think that's what you're supposed to do. I mean, especially in a webcam, like showing that you are like truly
that. I
trying
am
to shuffle.
shuffling.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's and as long as the opponent is showing me that, and they don't just like have a deck sitting there like,
Right.
"Hey, do you want me to cut?"
Sure.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Because if somebody's going to cheat, they're going to cheat regardless.
Right.
And they'll probably play too many cards or this or that or whatever. After that, I was just like, nope, I have no sympathy for this guy.
I don't blame you.
whatsoever.
I don't blame you. All right, let's get to your deck profile. I'm really excited to see this.
Yeah, so it's kind of straightforward, but I feel like a lot of green players in this format are playing more control with the addition of Rafflesia.
Sure.
So what I'm doing is I'm playing 4 of the new Yokomon, which whenever she's Digiburst, you get plus 2K
Yep.
on any of your Digimon. So it's not just the one that's a Digiburst from.
Sure.
So that's really good for the Grand Kuwagamon. So in past, like the last format, you always had to worry about making sure you had jamming with it. With this, I can literally go into 13K and swing for 3 and go over 90% of anything that somebody should have.
Worst
in their
case, you
deck.
had an Omni, but even Sword Defeat doesn't do battle. It just comes out. You know,
Yeah,
so.
exactly. So a majority of the stuff that I'm gonna see in this format, even if I'm playing a green matchup, I'm not that worried about Nidhogg because most people are not playing 4; they're playing like 2 or 3.
Right.
So even if I swing into that, it's probably if I hit the first one security, then that's just bad luck.
Sure.
So
What's the 5th deck?
and this one is Minomon. And this one, the only reason I have this one in there is because it gives you the 1K for whenever you attack another Digimon.
Oh, gotcha.
This one came in handy a couple of times because, say I have a Lilamon on the field and I want us to spend something and get their stuff off the field to control their board. She's an 8K now.
Oh, I gotcha.
Swinging over like, 7, Nightmons,
Yep.
things like that. So that's the reason I put that in there. One specific game that this actually come up in was against, I can't remember what it was against, but it was against my yellow matchup. One of the Lord Nightmon matchups. He went into a Valderarm, and I had a stack already built up in raising, and he put me a 6 already.
Oh, gotcha.
So what I did was I literally went up into, I brought it up, went into Nidhogg for 5, didn't use the Digiburst, and then I did HPD to go into Chaosmon.
That's pretty good.
And I literally put him at 1, and I swung over him with the Chaosmon because I was attacking another Digimon. He got another 1K.
Nice.
So 15K over a 14K, and he pierced the Cheka.
Hey, that's huge. That's huge.
Most of the people are like, "Oh man, you're just Digibursting everything away." No, I'm not. Like literally, you don't have to Digiburst that.
Well, the only thing it's Digiburst for is Nidhogg.
Yeah.
For everything else, you're probably only
You get to pick and choose.
Right.
So if there's a scenario where you're like, "Okay, I need just enough to get over this," it's literally like the Lilamon.
Right.
Like I pulled the other stuff, got the a Weedmon gain 1 memory, swung over it, boom, get to play something else. So that's my eggs. Next, I'm playing the engine, basically, I guess you could say, of the deck is the Promo Palmon.
Yep.
Everybody knows what it is.
Card's real good.
Jamming. This goes really well with almost anything in this deck. I'd say it's most dead when I have to go into Nidhogg because most of the time you're passing turn.
Right.
Rafflegiamon, this works well with, and also Grand Quagga. So
for that additional security check, right?
And then I got my buddy here, Goblimon. Just a great 2-drop.
Yep. Love the 2 cost rookies.
Yep, and then you got the 2 Argo, the one that won me the Lilithmon matchup. It's so good to be able to like turbo the board with these things.
Sure. I mean, if your memory, so if Mimi puts you to 3, you're always playing 2 of those, and if they don't have a memory tamer, you're setting them to 1.
Yeah, literally locking them down at 1, gaining board state. And even if I have to play one of these and like play one of these and then go into like a Cherrymon on my stack down here to literally put them at 1, and I'm gaining board state. So that's the reason I like these guys, because it just gives me so much more power. I then play 2 of the Palmon with the on deletion ability to where she gets to go up under, or another Palmon, so I can literally grab gets deleted, jamming Palmon, and put it up under a Digimon.
That seems pretty good.
So
does it pull the Palmon from the from the trash, or was it?
Yeah, from the trash. So if I've Digiburst the jamming Palmon, I can literally put this out there and then put it back under.
That seems good. One
scenario this came up in specifically was that I Nidhogged 1 turn to wipe their board, brought it up, or the next turn, Nidhogg swung.
Mm-hmm.
Then I Digivolved for 1 into Rafflesia,
Yep.
and this got deleted.
So you get to put your
So the
jamming back under
Palmon
it.
went under it. Rafflesia popped, jamming Rafflesia, swinging to security for 13K.
That's pretty good.
So, and then also, I play 2 of the memory Crutch
You have to
Terrier.
play it. You have to play at least 1 or 2 of those cards this format. Lilith Loop is so prominent that you just have to have something you can play.
Literally locks down Lilith
Yeah.
Loop. If they don't have a way of removing, then the reason I don't mind playing this, at almost any time, especially if I know somebody's got a lot of memory boost,
Mhm.
is that it distracts them to this target.
Yep.
So I can protect something that I want over here.
Right.
If they want to gain their memory that bad, like Lord Nightmon with Blinding Ray, the
Starmon,
Palmon,
etc.,
Starmon, all that stuff.
Yep.
Literally, if they want to be able to do that, they have to target this use sources to target this first,
Sure.
and then go after what I'm.
Yep.
So that's the reason I don't mind playing that at all.
No.
So that's all the rookies there. Then in my level 4s, I went with a turbo build, I guess you could say, which I don't think it's like that unique, but some people are not playing it that way.
Okay.
So I got 4 of the blocking Carboterimons,
Yep.
obviously great blocker. 4 of the memory boost Weedmon.
Yeah, that card's probably your MVP. I wouldn't say for sure, but like,
Yeah,
that card's
like,
wonderful.
There's been times when I'll literally Digivolve for 1 into a level 4. I will then Digizorp a level 3, and then I'll go into another Digimon and be able to literally Digiburst to be able to stay on my turn. It's insane. So like Nidhogg, for
Yep.
example, literally Digiburst with him, he only costs 4 at that point.
Right.
And it's insane whenever you can do that, especially if your opponent gives you 4.
Yep.
You go into Nidhogg, and
Yep.
then all of a sudden it keeps your turn even though you're in
Sure.
you
Or
just
it's
went
even
into
one of those
Nidhogg.
situations where if your memory tamer put you to 3, and now you're Nidhogging for 4 because of Weedmon, they're now at 1.
Yeah.
So you spun the majority, if not all, of their board back, and they only have 1 memory.
Yeah, exactly. It's a hard choke. So like for example, if I only have 1, I went into Nidhogg, they
Yep.
would have went to 4.
Yep.
But that 1 memory is so vital,
Sure.
especially this format.
Sure.
And now I play 3 of the traditional Vegemon.
Yep.
So all 1 cost in my level 4s.
Yep. It seems good.
So-
I mean, you want to get up the ladder as quick as you can.
As fast as
So-
possible. And they really help to do that in a very, very easy way. So with the level 5s, 4 Blossomon,
Yep.
not much to say
Seems
about
pretty
that.
standard. Yeah.
Yeah. I do play 2 Cherrymon.
Yep.
And the reason I play this is because 5K blocker, a lot of the stuff in a lot of decks doesn't seem to be able to swing over this.
Yep.
I can swing with him still,
Yep.
and he's only a 2 cost.
I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Is that he can attack. So I'd say 90 to 95% of blockers seeing play right now make you lose 2 memory.
Yeah.
He doesn't, and that's such a big piece.
It is, especially whenever you're trying to really choke out your opponents. Being able to play a 2-cost rookie and then play this for 2.
Yeah.
Literally chokes them at 1, and
Yep.
you got a +2 advantage right
Yep.
there. Whereas like playing a 3-cost in my stack down here, and then having to play something to pass them turn, they're going to go 2 or 3 almost every time. So being able to do this on a level 5, it's pretty big. It's
Yeah.
pretty big in my opinion, and I think that this, especially when I was playing against like Rookie Rush and stuff, this guy was huge because he was just like, okay, block,
Yep.
block,
Play all
block,
your 5K
block.
guys.
Yeah,
Play them all.
play him because you run into a blocker
Yep.
now, and then I can very easily just go into Nidhogg.
Yep.
because it's just okay. You got all your 5K out. Okay, now you got a blocker, and now you got to be able to get around him. And it's like, okay, I'll just Nidhogg.
Sure.
And then boom, your board's gone. I play 2 of the Lilamon. I think a lot of this format has switched over to where people play 4 of Lilamon and none of the Cherry.
Yeah.
But I think her at 2 is fine because you have so many other ways of getting around having to pay the cost at level 5 with green.
Right.
That if I was to play more of her, I think I would be at more of a disadvantage because I'm paying one too many memory.
Right.
But I didn't really use her suspend ability that much because I wanted to be able to keep the sources as much as possible. But her inherit ability came in clutch, like so many times.
Tell the
Especially
people what her inherited ability is.
so as long as I have like a Mimi or any other tamer on the field, whenever I attack, I instantly suspend something.
Okay.
So even if they have a blocker out there, boom.
Well, I mean, that seems
Bada
good
boom.
to me.
So if I go into a Green Quagamon, I don't Digiburst her because I want to be able to swing and basically eliminate their blocker, so that I can go in and hit for 2 security at a time.
Sure.
Rafflegiamon even with this, you don't even have to lock down the blocker. You can literally just like lock down Lord Nightmon or whatever, and then swing and suspend the blocker to be able to hit the security and not even have to worry about it.
Seems
So
good.
And then the one of Argo.
Yeah, we gotta play it. Gotta play it. Too good.
Bandai needs to be able to unban that. That in HPD would be insane. The big boy of the deck is the Grand Koagamon. For every 2 Digiburst, you gain 1+1 security. Swinging for 3 checks every time.
Palmon gives it jamming, etc., etc.
The best stack is the Yokomon gives it plus 2K. Palmon gives it jamming. Weebmon you get plus 1 memory, and then you swing for 3 checks.
Yep.
Then the next turn I can go into a Rafflegiamon over top of it.
Yep.
The other ones I run are 3 Nidhogs because he controls, but he literally is the Armageddon.
Card says send all of your cards back to your deck.
Yeah. Going against purple, especially if somebody's playing like Dan Devi, is critical to play Nidhogg because they don't have that.
You don't want it going back to trash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like literally playing against purple and then hitting stuff with Nidhogg literally almost chokes them in a way because they can't go back and grab all that stuff.
As a purple player, I know what it feels like to have your down Devi spun to the bottom of your deck.
Well, even against Lilithmon, one of the great things was that the guy was like, okay, you can Nidhogg, and then he didn't even think that they go to the bottom of the deck. He was like, oh, they just go to trash and I can Jack Raid. No, I'm eliminating Jack Raid sources even. So the other 2 are Rafflegiamon. I only run 2 because I feel like she is she's a pseudo level 7. I will play her as a level 6 sometimes, but she is such a good tech card to just be able to Digivolve for 1, choke your opponent even. There was the time when I literally Digivolved her over Nidhogg. The Palmon was deleted, goes up under the source, Digiburst 2, locked down, 13K swinging security. Yep,
and it's cheating because you got rid of the Palmon.
Yep. And I'll run 2 Chaosmon. Everybody's playing Voldarm, and in this deck, if somebody's playing Rafflegia Nidhogg heavy, I can understand that. Because it's all about controlling the board. Mine is pure aggression. I want to get up and I want to punch somebody in the face, take out all their security, put them on their heels to where they have to answer me or I win. Period. The thing that I always made sure I had was whenever I was going into a Grand Quagga with the Chaos in hand, I always made sure that I had something down in my raising area.
Yep.
So that even if they remove it, I had something that I could potentially answer whenever I bring it out.
Sure.
If not, I would have 2 memes out. There was a lot of times yesterday where I would have 2 memes out, and I didn't care what they put. I didn't care what they did to my board. So for the options, let me clean this up a bit. The options are pretty straightforward. It's pretty standard to most green builds. 2 needle spray. Love seeing it in security.
Yeah, you do.
My luck is that most of the time it's the last security. But seeing this, it literally saved a game for me against the Lilith Loop.
Sure.
That was huge. 1 HPD, because that card is absolutely broken.
Yep.
To be able to digivolve up to 5 for free the next time any of your guys digivolve is insane. And then just rounding out the deck is just 2 memes.
Yep.
2 memes. Most people are like, oh, you're not running 3? No, like this is a perfect amount for me in this deck because
You don't need it early.
I don't need it early.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is that I would much rather this just be like icing on the cake in security
Sure.
rather than me having to hard play it
For
at
four.
all.
Yeah. You're drawing so much too. I mean, so you're. I think if I remember the count correctly, it was 11 level 4s, and
Yeah.
all of them cost 1.
Cost
You
1,
know,
yeah.
so you're playing your rookie for free drawing. You're playing your
Yeah.
champion for
So,
1.
so
and
even
you're
if somebody
drawing.
puts me at
Yeah.
2, I can literally digivolve for 1
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
draw a
You're
card.
constantly drawing,
And I
so-
can go into a rookie on the field and pass turn to 1, or I
Yep.
can go 2 and then I can 2 on the field and then put a blocker out and
Right.
put them at 1.
Well, even then, I mean, you even like rookie into like Weedmon, and then you can like Digiburst for free on Blossom, and then so like
Yeah.
now you've drawn 3 cards for 1 memory.
Yeah,
Like
100%.
yeah,
And it makes it so to where like she is not. A lot of decks, they're like, I have to get this out. I have to get a tamer out in
Mhm.
order for my deck to really, really ramp up. But with Mimi, she's literally just icing on the cake.
Sure.
Like, you have to play her in the deck because, like, if you're playing green and you don't have her, like, you're not even playing the deck right. But it's not one of those cards where I feel like as soon as I see her, I have to throw her out.
yeah,
There's been literally games where I had better draws and I had no reason to play Mimi whatsoever.
sure.
Now, if somebody reset my board and I knew that I had enough time, I would play a Mimi.
Okay,
But
there's no reason not to in that. point, though.
but yeah, 2 Mimi, and that rounds out the deck.
Well, we talked about your the bad matchup, against
Yeah.
the person that made you cut all your decks. Did you have any like fun matchup that stood out to you? Was there any like crazy combo you pulled off?
The crazy combo was probably no, I mean it's really not even a crazy combo. There were some times where I would bring out Grand Quagga. I would only Digiburst 2 to gain the 1 memory to go to 1, and then I would go into Reflegiumon for 1 to go to 0, Digiburst the other 2 to lock down, and then swing for 2 with Reflegiumon.
That seems pretty good.
So I locked down their Lord Nightmon, for an example. And so I think that's the weirdest, like, tech. That and then the Chaosmon without Digibursting Nidhogg swinging over a Volderarm with the Minomon 1K.
Yeah, I mean, sounds good. Sounds good. I think your list looks really consistent, so I can definitely see why you got 10th.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, is there anybody you'd like to shout out?
Yeah, Guy Force Gaming. That's my teammates. We have a Discord. I will send the link to
I'll
you
put the link on it'll be in the description below.
We do tournaments every Monday.
Monday.
At 6 p.m. Eastern time. Really fun, really casual, but a great competitive Discord to be in
Yep.
as well.
Shannon's
So.
super active in their Discord too.
Yeah.
So if you want to come out and congratulate him, make sure that you join the Discord. So,
Yeah, and that's pretty much all, man.
Okay,
Thank
awesome.
you so much.
Yeah, dude, thank you for coming out. I appreciate it. Congratulations. Your
Thank you.
invite's
Thank
done.
you.
Now you can play decks for fun.
I can play janky decks like Hexablau, Commandramon, stuff like that. So.
All right. Well, yeah. Again, everybody, this was Shannon Hamilton. He got 10th place at the Magna Carta Webcam Regional. So congratulations, Shannon. Thank you for coming out. If you
thank
guys
you.
like this video, please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. And I will catch you on the next video. Thanks, guys.
See ya.